No matter what and whatever it takes. Self-love is key, and so is power. Take back your control. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Becoming Better and Not Bitter. My name is Shaquanda, and I am so excited to be able to come to you today and speak on self-love. I got a message last week after my first video, and I got a question: how do you continue, or did you continue to smile and love on yourself even when you were going through? To be honest, I did not. I was down. I was depressed. I was sad. My moods fluctuated a lot. So, and sometimes I just didn't care how I felt, how I looked. I stayed in my bed and did not want to be bothered. But I had to work my way through that and had to work on putting myself first, because even though I was going through, I still had my kids to care for, but I was caring for them from an empty cup, and I needed my cup or love bank to be refilled. And to be honest with, just working on me and showing up, even though I had to show up for them, showing up for me as well. My kids helped fill that love bank. So let's get into it and discuss some of the things I think was important for me to remind myself of and to get out of that whatever state I was in, to move forward and live a better life, or my best life. And like I said in my introduction, no matter what, whatever it takes, self-love is key, and so is power. And it was up to me, no matter what I was going through, to take control back of my life. Whatever it takes, you must put yourself first. Self-care is very important. And remember, self-care is not you being selfish. So let go. Learn how to let go and put yourself first. Let go of those who does not mean you well or does not have good intentions for you. And if you have children, does not have good intentions for your children. When it comes to loving you, be so unrecognizable about your change and your growth. So when others pass you, those who did not mean you well, they won't even recognize you because of the change you've made to impact your life for a positive and better life that you chose. Learn how to say no. I had to learn this the hard way, but eventually I caught on. Be intentional about the decisions you have made to better your life. Life is too short not to love, but it's definitely too short not to love yourself. You must love yourself and care for yourself completely before you can care for another or say you want to love another. You cannot give and love from an empty cup, because you will be burnt out. You will not have the energy to love you or another. So work on you before you can work on loving someone else or adding another person to your life to love them. Because if you give the love half, you're going to get that love back half. So make sure you're completely healed and ready to move on before you rush into something else. And the love you have for you is not there, but you expect someone else to love you. So put yourself first in everything that you have to, in order for your self-love to grow. Life is too short for you not to be happy and not live in abundance. John 10:10 said, I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. I chose to have an abundant life. And because that, I thought of it first, and then I started living it. I started speaking it into existence. Even though I did not felt like I was living in abundance, I had to keep reminding myself of what the Word of God said, that He came that I may live abundantly. And the Word of God does not lie. So I had to remind myself daily that you must live abundant. You must make it your business that you live this life abundantly. You don't have to show off like you have this and all together, because no, when you're going through, you don't feel like you have it all together. But you have to make it your business to work towards living a happy, fulfilled, abundant life that was promised to you. Your choices determines how your life will be. Sometimes we go through events or situations in our lives, and we allow those events to cause us to become withdrawn. We cannot allow those situations to determine the outcome of our life, because I've went through situations where it put me in a hopeless and depressed state, and at times it felt like I should just give up. And if I had allowed those thoughts of giving up to determine the outcome for my life, and to love on me, to encourage myself to get back to where I need to be, then I would have been lost and not be able to be a voice for someone today if I had allowed the thoughts to consume me. Sometimes we go through situations and events in our lives that will cause us to be stagnant, but we cannot allow those situations to determine the outcome of our lives. If we allow that to happen, it will continue to control our daily lives instead of us taking back control from those situations. You have to be determined to take back full control of your life in order to move forward and in order to love on you, in order to have that self-love. There will always be events that will occur in your life, whereas it's negative or positive, but your response will determine the outcome. We all have some type of grief that we have had experience, or a loss of loved ones. Trust me, I wish I still had a lot of my loved ones here today. Even COVID-19 had caused a lot of setbacks in families and where they have experienced loss. I've went through major events where I've lost. To name two, I've went through a miscarriage, and then years later I've went through a divorce. But if I had allowed those events to control my destiny, I would not have been here today. What events or situations have you experienced in the past or even now that you're still allowing to control your future? What events do you need to tell enough is enough and take back control of your life, of your destiny? It's time to love on you. I have the memories of the events, but I don't live in the memories of those events. I know that I have a purpose to fulfill. Because I do not allow the events or situations to control me, I allow my response to be different from my reaction. Meaning I allow my response, the way I respond to a situation, the way I respond to my divorce. I did not allow my reaction to consume me. Yes, the things and the thoughts I might have wanted to do in my reaction, I did not let that control the outcome. I allow my response, how I respond to the event instead of my reaction, determine my outcome. And that's why now I can love on myself. I know what it is to take care of myself, or self-love, and to be in a better state of mind than to be angry or bitter. I took my control back and I allowed myself to react, but I waited to respond. You know, we can all react in a negative way, right? But would your negative reaction give you a positive outcome? Or do you like being in that negative back and forth where nothing comes out of it? And at the end of the day, you're still angry, you're still bothered. 2 weeks from now, you're still bothered. I started to tell myself, Kwanda, if this right now is happening, how would this affect you if you respond the way you want to respond or react the way you would want to react? How will this affect you a year from now, 5 years from now? Will this even add any value to what your purpose is or what you want to do in the future, who you would like to be in the future? So it's always good to think before you react and then respond. And that helped me because the negative back and forth or negative response, it tends to allow you to continue to be negative than to think, how would this affect me in the future? How would this affect me tomorrow? When you're working on loving yourself, give yourself grace. You deserve that grace, right? Give yourself grace. Yes, some things could have been your fault, and some things could have not. Some mistakes you have made, but they are lessons you've learned. Give yourself grace and time to heal, to love on you, to be selfless when it comes to loving yourself. I had to shift the path for my life. What was sent to destroy me or to keep me stagnant, I wiggled myself out of. I cried myself out of that hopeless and depressed state. I wiggled and cried and fight to be able to really smile again, to understand what I mean to me and what I mean to those who I am important to. Get out of that and love on you, Kwanda. And that's what I had to do. Love on me. Learn how to love on me. And sometimes it's just having a black cup of coffee in the morning to start my day. It starts with you to change the trajectory of your mind, your heart, and your life. Start putting yourself first and stop putting yourself last. Stop putting yourself last and start putting yourself first. Self-care is very important. Self-care does not mean you're selfish. Self-care means you're taking the time out to love on you in order for you to give love, to show love, to be love. I challenge you today to take 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes out of your time for you. And each day, add about 5 to 10 minutes at least, just for you. If you have to meditate, read, dance, sing, have a cup of coffee, depending on when you're doing it. If you have to wake up early, I am not an early morning person, but if you have to, take that time out for you. Heal. Heal before you rush into something that is not meant for you. And when you heal and give yourself time, give yourself grace, give yourself that extra time to think, your mind is not as clouded. So you will be able to discern if this situation that I'm putting myself in is right for me or not. Love, give love, but first love you. First learn how to take the time out to love on you. Remove yourself from the negative. Stop putting yourself last. Your response will determine your outcome. Your response in words and action will determine the outcome of your destiny, of your future. No more procrastination. Be intentional. Be intentional about what you want, how you want it, how you will get it, and how you see yourself a year from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now. Be intentional. Be intentional about you. All these will help you not only love yourself, take back your power, but it will also help you to become better and not bitter. I am here for you, and I encourage you to work on your self-love. I encourage you to take back your power. I encourage you to becoming better and not bitter. Until next time, remember, becoming better and not bitter is always better.